5. I'm sorry, I'm like freaking out because I couldn't find my hair tie. I was like, where'd it go? And it was like on my arm. But anyway, anyway, this is my reaction rant to Arrow, Season 6, Episode 5. And after I do this particular Episode 5, I know that Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Arrow have all had their Episode 6. Like, for example, Supergirl Season 3, Episode 6, The Flash Season 4, Episode 6, Arrow Season 6, Episode 6, and if I remember correctly, Legends of Tomorrow Season 3, Episode 6 have all premiered literally this week. After I am done with Arrow, I will most likely start trying to do the videos for the first 4 Walking Dead episodes that I have missed, because, well, it's midnight right now, and that means it's like officially Saturday. So episode 5 of season 8 of The Walking Dead will premiere tomorrow. So I want to see how I'm trying to get as many of The Walking Dead in as possible. Hopefully I could probably by the end of Sunday, I will have at least episodes 1 and 2 of season 8 uploaded, or at least recorded, right? Anyway, here is Arrow, Season 6, Episode 5, titled Deathstroke Returns. Slade, from the last episode, Episode 4, he was asking Oliver for help, and most likely to find his son. And apparently, according to Slade, his son is being held in a jail. And so both of them meet an old acquaintance of Slade's who pretty much provides them with information they need to find his son. And so apparently when they get there, Slade's pretty much telling Oliver, hey, go find my son and get him out of here. I will follow behind everything, but it's best that you find my son and get him out of here, because I'm pretty sure my son doesn't want to see me. And despite Oliver's objections, Oliver, of course, agrees to it. And we do find out the name of Slade's son. His name is actually Joe. And if you guys actually read the comics, or at least saw some animated shows or movies in relation to DC, you will know that the name Joe is very important when it comes to Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke. In the comic books, Slade does have, in fact, 2 children. One of them, his name is, in fact, Joseph. Which, obviously, Joe has to be short for Joseph, right? And, I won't get too much into it. I'll probably have a separate video for that. But in the comic books, Slade's son's full name is Joseph William Wilson. And he actually went by an alias by the name of Jericho. And he was originally in the comics a superhero and a member of the Teen Titans. So he was not only part of the Teen Titans, he was part of the Wildebeest Society or something like that. He has motor function control of others through eye contact. So basically, if he makes eye contact with people, he could basically control your body. He's skilled in hand-to-hand combat, naturally, because he's Deathstroke's son. And he apparently has an ability called Soul Self, which, from watching the animated show Teen Titans, most likely is pretty much possessing people, from what I'm understanding. But I won't get too much into that, because that's gonna take like half this video. I'll probably make that a separate video, because Jericho is a very interesting character, and I actually love the fact they actually somewhat brought him into live action. But anyway, when they get there, they engage a group of security people there in the jail, known as the Jackals, and Slade engages them in combat. And during combat, he actually finds out that the reason why they managed to get to Slade is because that acquaintance that Oliver and Slade met with, that's acquaintance of Slade, he's apparently part of the Jackals, so he pretty much sold them out. And Slade ends up demanding the Jackals, release my son Joe. And apparently that acquaintance is like, well, that's not going to be an easy thing to do, because guess what? Our boss, aka the boss of the Jackals, is Joe himself. Of course, Slade, he's like, huh? I thought my son was in jail, right? He has that look like, well, he doesn't do he doesn't give off too much. He's pretty damn stone-faced most of the time anyway, but he is a little confused because he believes his son was jailed, right? And in custody and in trouble, but only to find out that his son's basically the leader of like a gang, which I wouldn't blame him for being confused. But anyway, during this whole entire thing, back in Star City, apparently it's the return of Vigilante, and I know a lot of people are like, what the hell? It's been forever, Vigilante. Where have you been? I think the last time we ever saw Vigilante was during the Alien crossover with the 4 shows, because remember, at one point the Flash ends up in Star City to tell them about the aliens, and we see Oliver and Diggle engaging in a fight with Vigilante, and the Flash pretty much intervenes and takes Diggle and Oliver back to Oliver's place. So, I think that was the last time I ever saw Vigilante. I don't know if it was for you guys. Put in the comment section what was the last time you saw Vigilante before this episode. But anyway, apparently Vigilante is trying to assassinate a politician, because this politician apparently supports the anti-vigilante bill, which is pretty much saying, we hate these vigilantes, they shouldn't be around, if vigilantes are around, they should get, jailed and shit like that, right? That's what basically the anti-vigilante bill was. And obviously Vigilante's against it, because, hello, his name is in it. He's literally a vigilante. And this bill is basically prohibiting him from doing anything, right? And so Dinah manages to save this politician several times, against Vigilante, and at one point when she uses her canary cry against Vigilante, it actually manages to remove his mask. So a lot of people thought that Vigilante could have been, remember the big bad of last season, the one who used himself as a kill switch to pretty much blow up Lian Yu, kill William's mother, and put Thea in a coma? That guy, in the beginning when we first met that guy, we all thought that he was Vigilante. Come on, I admit it, at one point a lot of people thought he might have, considering the way he talked, his speech pattern, the way he talked about justice and everything, very similar to the way Vigilante talked. So I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people in the beginning thought maybe that guy was Vigilante, right? But nope, he wasn't Vigilante at all. He was actually Prometheus, right? But anyway, we finally found out who Vigilante is, and it drove me crazy for the longest time, because again, I was irritated because I was like, where the hell's Vigilante? Haven't seen him since the 4-part alien thing. And in the longest time before I found out that Jerkoff was Prometheus, I thought he was Vigilante. But lo and behold, apparently Vigilante is none other than Dinah's old partner in the CCPD, Vincent Sobel, who we all thought was dead. Because remember when we first saw Dinah's flashback with her former partner Vincent, they were being held captive from bad guys, obviously, and because I think they were like doing undercover work or something, and they got caught. I don't remember, but from what I remember, those bad guys shot Vincent in front of Dinah, and it was the very same day when the particle accelerator exploded, and that's what gave Dinah her canary cry. Because right when Vincent got shot, the particle accelerator exploded, and she was screaming bloody murder. And she got hit by the particle accelerator, hence the canary cry. But apparently Vincent actually survived getting shot and apparently killed during that whole day, because here he is, he's Vigilante. And he tries to another assassination attempt on this politician during a TV interview, but once again is met by Dinah, and apparently gets shot in the head, from what I remember, by an officer. But apparently, according to him, Vincent reveals to Dinah that the particle accelerator not only gave Dinah a canary cry for her, made her a metahuman, apparently it changed him as well, because obviously he survived getting shot. But the reason why he didn't tell Dinah he was alive is because he believed that revealing he was alive and coming back to work as a cop, it was proving to be ineffective. So he wanted to do his own term of justice in his own way. So he didn't tell Dinah he was alive. And of course, apparently Dinah allows him to leave, because remember, not only was Vincent apparently Dinah's CCPD partner, it was very much hinted that, Dinah and Vincent were a couple. That's why Dinah was hit so hard by this, because not only did they had a work relationship, work partnership, they were like kind of like a couple partnership, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of worried because if they end up meeting up with Vigilante again, because like I said, Dinah allowed him to leave, there is a possibility that Dinah might not be able to fight possibly with Vigilante. Because it's a loved one, you know? It's her former partner and possibly former lover. And it's like, more hinted former lover, but finding out he's alive, if Team Arrow along with Dinah engage in a fight with Vigilante, I'm kind of scared that Dinah might actually chicken out in fighting against him, which might be a liability to the rest of Team Arrow if all of them, including Dinah, engage Vigilante anytime in the future. I'm just saying. But anyway, I love the fact that the son's name is Joe. Deathstroke's son is Joe. Obviously, it's short for Joseph, which I love. I'm actually curious, though, if they're actually going to make him kind of like a metahuman. Because, in the comics, yes, he has hand-to-hand combat, which they're obviously giving Joe here, but he did have some sort of, like, abilities. Like I said, he had the soul self thing, which I believe has been seen in the animated cartoon Teen Titans, where he pretty much possessed someone's body. I think that's what soul self is. But, he does have that other ability, which is basically eye contact with someone, and he can control their body. So, I wonder if they're actually going to give him that and make Joe here a metahuman. I don't know. Or maybe they're going to do something where an accident happens which gives Joe the ability later? I don't know, but it will be interesting seeing, and it's definitely interesting seeing like Slade somewhat normal and somewhat of a good guy and working with Oliver. Just like old times before he went batshit crazy with the Mirakuru, right? But anyway, it was a somewhat slow episode. Some loose ends got tied in, of course, like Slade's son and everything, and the Vigilante loose end has finally been wrapped. We finally know who the hell he is. So, like I said, I think that if there's ever another encounter with Vigilante, with Dinah, and if she's with Team Arrow, if it happens, she might be a liability, because I don't think she's going to fight Vincent. She might freeze, and that might be a liability to Team Arrow if she ends up engaging and encountering Vigilante with Team Arrow. So I'm kind of scared for her. Or, like, freaking Vincent might take advantage of Dinah, not wanting to fight him. You know what I mean? But anyway, interesting episode. Good to see Deathstroke's son, seeing Oliver and Slade together again, working together was pretty cool, and I'm finally glad that we got the whole who the hell is Vigilante out of the way. So, overall, it was an okay episode. It wasn't too boring, but at the same time not too exciting. So it was like mellow. It was Switzerland for me. But anyway, this is my reaction rant to Arrow Season 6, Episode 5, titled Deathstroke Returns. And after this, I most likely will try to attempt to do the videos for at least Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 1, and attempt to do also Episode 2, which I believe, let me see the titles to those two again. Episode 1 was titled Mercy, while Episode 2 is titled The Damned. I will definitely at least get Episode 1, because, yeah, I already missed 4 episodes. We cannot keep it like this, and I'm okay with the fact that I'm doing The Walking Dead first right now before knocking out the CWDC episode 6s for all 4 shows. I want to at least get a good chunk of The Walking Dead out of the way. But anyway, I'll see you for The Walking Dead. Bye, guys. And I'm sorry for the late delay. Again, work. I have literally no time. But I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.